I have been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 4 years and have become the primary caregiver for his daughter who has type 1 diabetes, but now I'm being called a gold digger. Not sure if I'm overreacting here, but I think I've reached my limit after years of thankless caregiving and increasing disrespect. I've been dating Ryan for 4 years now, and from early on, I took on a lot of responsibility with his daughter Mia's diabetes management. As a pediatric nurse, I had the skills to help, which made me feel needed at first. I was working night shifts when we first got together, so I had daytime availability to handle Mia's doctor appointments, school meetings, and daily insulin management while Ryan worked long hours at his corporate job. 6 months ago, Ryan got a promotion that required us to relocate to a smaller town about 2 hours away from where we were living. The move meant better pay and career advancement for him, which I supported, but it also meant moving Mia away from her biological mom, Jade. Jade has always been inconsistent in Mia's life. She'll show up for a month, then disappear when her new yoga retreat or boyfriend takes priority. The move has been especially hard on Mia, who went from seeing her mom sporadically to barely at all. She also left behind all her friends right before starting high school. Worse, my work schedule at the new hospital changed to include more day shifts, so I'm not as available as I used to be for Mia's needs. I've noticed Mia becoming increasingly withdrawn over these past few months. She started making comments under her breath when I ask about her blood sugar levels or remind her about her insulin. Ryan always brushes it off as normal teenage behavior, which may be true, but it still hurts when you're the one getting the eye rolls after you've spent 3 hours coordinating with her school nurse about her care plan. Last weekend was the point when things went too far. We attended a dinner with Ryan's extended family, most of whom I was meeting for the first time since COVID, and distance made it difficult before. I was nervous about making a good impression, and I spent the whole day helping Mia prepare for the dinner, making sure her levels were stable since large family meals can be tricky with diabetes. Everything was fine until dessert, when Ryan's aunt asked if we had plans to have children of our own someday. Before I could respond, Mia loudly interrupted. "She's just a gold digger. That's what my mom says. She's only with Dad to get him to have a baby." The entire table went silent. I felt humiliated as everyone stared at me. For 4 years, I've handled school meetings, doctor appointments, midnight blood sugar checks, insulin adjustments, carb counting, and emergency lows. I've rearranged my work schedule countless times to accommodate Mia's needs. I've canceled plans with friends to sit with her when she was sick. I've spent hours researching the newest diabetes management technology to make her life easier. In that moment, I lost patience. I looked at Mia and said, "I'm not your mom, Mia. I'm just the woman keeping your life together while she's out getting her chakras aligned instead of showing up for your doctor's appointments." As soon as I spoke, I regretted it. Mia started crying and ran upstairs. Ryan followed her without looking at me, leaving me sitting alone at the table. His mom pursed her lips and shook her head at me. I sat for about 15 minutes before Ryan came back downstairs. He pulled me into the hallway and told me I had completely crossed the line and needed to apologize to Mia for stooping to her level. I tried to explain how hurtful Mia's comment was, especially after everything I'd done for her, but he said she was just repeating something she heard and that I was the adult who should know better. The ride home was silent. Ryan kept checking on Mia in the back seat, asking if she was okay or needed to check her sugar levels, while ignoring me. When I tried again to explain my feelings once we got home, he said, "She's just a kid, and you're the adult here," then went to make Mia a snack. It's been 3 days now, and things are still tense at home. Mia barely acknowledges me, and Ryan keeps suggesting I apologize first. A lot of people online say step-parenting is thankless work, and that teens often lash out at the safest person, in this case, me. But I can't help feeling like I'm the only one being held accountable while Mia faces no consequences for repeating hurtful things her mom says about me. I keep thinking about the dinner incident, wondering if I overreacted. On one hand, teenagers say hurtful things, and she was probably just repeating what she's heard from her mom. But I've dedicated 4 years to helping manage this girl's chronic illness, often at the expense of my own needs and career advancement. What really bothers me is that Ryan didn't defend me at all. Not at the dinner table, not to his family after she ran off, and not even in private when we got home. It feels like all the years of me being there for his daughter have no value now that I stood up for myself. I've tried to explain that I feel taken for granted, but he doesn't seem to get it. He says, "This isn't about you. It's about Mia adjusting to the move. But when is it ever about me and my feelings in this relationship?" Sorry if that sounds selfish. This morning I was checking Mia's diabetes supplies as usual and realized we're running low on test strips. I texted Ryan to pick some up on his way home, and he responded, "Can't you just do it?" As if I hadn't done everything for years. I'm starting to wonder if I was wrong to think we were a family when I'm actually the live-in diabetes manager who acts as the girlfriend only after parenting duties are done for the day. Part of me wants to book a hotel for a few days to let them figure out how much I do around here, but I'm worried about Mia's health if I did that. Her dad tries, but he doesn't know the details of her care like I do. I'm torn between feeling justified in what I said and feeling guilty for bringing Jade into it. I know Mia loves her mom despite her flaws, and it wasn't fair to mention her weaknesses to Mia. But being called a gold digger after 4 years of selfless caregiving hurt me deeply. I don't want to make a decision about my relationship that I'll regret later, so any outside perspective would help. Am I wrong for standing up for myself, or should I have let the comment pass for the sake of peace? Now for the first update. Wow, I'm seriously overwhelmed by all the responses to my original post. I've been reading your comments and advice about the situation with Ryan and Mia, and I appreciate everyone who responded. It's been about a week since that family dinner, and things have become more complicated. I decided to try a calm, direct conversation with Mia to clear the air. Some of you mentioned teenagers lash out when they feel insecure or displaced, which made sense given the move and her mom's situation. The morning after I posted, I knocked on Mia's bedroom door, hoping we could talk. I had prepared what I wanted to say about understanding her feelings and stating that certain comments weren't acceptable. That plan failed. Mia refused to open the door and said she'd texted her mom about what happened and didn't want to talk to me. Later that day, Ryan came home from work stressed. He told me Jade had called him upset, demanding to speak with me about verbally attacking her daughter. The woman who had missed Mia's last 3 endocrinologist appointments and often ignored school emails was suddenly complaining about me. For those asking, Jade has always been inconsistent, but she gets defensive when called out. When I pointed this out to Ryan, he sighed and said, "It's complicated. She's still Mia's mother, and we need to respect that relationship." Apparently, Jade can call me a gold digger through Mia, but I can't state facts about her parenting. Side note, many of you noticed Ryan struggles with boundaries with his ex. That evening, Ryan told me he needed to travel for work for 3 days starting tomorrow. He was leaving without resolving anything, and I'd be alone with an angry teenager. When I expressed concern about managing Mia's care, he said we'd figure it out and that maybe some time together would help. The first morning after Ryan left, I noticed something concerning while organizing Mia's diabetes supplies. Her logbook showed she hadn't tracked her blood sugar levels for several days, a serious lapse in her diabetes management. For those unfamiliar with type 1 diabetes, consistent monitoring is critical to avoid hospitalization. And yes, I was worried about DKA. I found Mia in the kitchen and asked about her monitoring. She said, "You're not my parent, remember? So stop acting like it." She looked pale and was shaking, signs of low blood sugar. I had her check her levels immediately. Her reading was 58, dangerously low. Normal is between 80 to 120. Anything under 70 is hypoglycemic. She tried to brush me off until she nearly collapsed reaching for a glass. I helped her and gave her juice and a protein bar. After her levels came up, she said thanks before returning to her room. That acknowledgement was a small win after days of hostility, but the situation wasn't resolved. That afternoon, while Mia was at a school club meeting, someone knocked at the door. I opened it to find Jade standing there. She had driven 2 hours from the city without warning. She entered and said I was trying to replace her as Mia's mother and poisoning her daughter against her. She said I had no right to comment on her parenting and accused me of talking behind her back while calling me a gold digger to Mia. I tried to stay calm and listed the doctor's appointments, school conferences, and daily diabetes tasks I've handled over the years after Jade canceled or didn't show up. Her response, "That's just doing Ryan's chores for him." Edit for clarity. I wasn't trying to score points against Jade. I was trying to show that my investment in Mia's well-being is genuine. Before leaving, Jade said she'd petition for more custody now that Mia was old enough to have a say. She's never used her visitation time fully. In the past year, she's canceled or shortened at least 8 weekends with Mia, usually for yoga retreats or romantic getaways. When Ryan called that night, I told him about Mia's blood sugar episode and Jade's visit. I expected him to be concerned about Mia's health, but he seemed more focused on keeping peace with Jade than supporting me. He suggested I apologize to everyone so we could move forward. Several of you said I need to evaluate whether Ryan sees me as a partner or just childcare, and his response makes me think you might be right. He's more worried about smoothing things over than addressing the issues, which tells me where his priorities lie. I'm starting to realize this isn't just about dinner comments or teenage attitude. It's a pattern where my contributions are expected but not valued or defended. Ryan wants me to handle his daughter's medical care, but won't back me up when I need authority to do it effectively. He wants me to have responsibility without respect. Mia's health is on the line here. Her blood sugar incident scared me, and I worry this tension is affecting her diabetes management. I can't force her to take care of herself if she rejects my help, but I can't watch her put herself at risk. To the commenter who suggested I document everything, I've started keeping detailed notes. Ryan returns tomorrow, and we need a serious conversation about where we go from here. I feel like I'm at a crossroads. Either define my role in this family with respect, or consider whether this relationship is sustainable. Leaving Mia's care is heartbreaking, but staying in a relationship where I'm taken for granted might be worse. Thank you to everyone who shared experiences as step-parents or partners to parents with chronically ill kids. Your stories and advice have helped me feel less alone. I'll update again after Ryan returns and we talk things through. Now for the second update. I'm back with another chapter in this step-parent saga. Thank you all for the advice and support on my last post. It's been a week since Ryan returned from his business trip, and things have been intense. After reading your comments, I realized I needed to have a serious talk with Ryan about my role in this family. I couldn't keep being treated like hired help for Mia's care while being told I was overstepping when I tried to parent her. The morning after Ryan got back, I asked him if we could talk after Mia left for school. He agreed. Once we had the house to ourselves, I laid out how I'd been handling Mia's medical care, school meetings, and daily needs for years without any authority or backup when issues arose. I can't keep doing this, I told him. I'm effectively parenting Mia without any recognition or support. Ryan looked shocked. He said he'd gotten used to me handling everything related to Mia and hadn't realized how much work it was. He began to apologize, but then my phone rang with the school's number. The school nurse said Mia had a severe hypoglycemic episode during gym class and was in the nurse's office. Her blood sugar had dropped to 48 and she was shaky and disoriented. Ryan and I rushed to the school. When we arrived, Jade was already with Mia in the nurse's office. They'd called her first, despite me being listed as the primary emergency contact. The office was tense. Mia was on the cot, more alert after she'd had some juice. The nurse explained that Mia had skipped breakfast and lunch, missed her insulin dose, and stopped her monitoring schedule. That led to a diabetic crisis. The nurse asked specific questions about her medication dosages and monitoring schedule. I answered with all the details: insulin to carb ratios, correction factors, basal rates, and recent adjustments. It became clear Jade didn't know any of these details, while I could list them. Mia was watching. When the nurse asked who would take Mia home, we all remained silent. Jade had priority as her biological mother, but was uncomfortable after a hypoglycemic event. Ryan hesitated. Then Mia said, "Can you take me home? I feel safer with you handling my diabetes when I'm unwell." I started to cry. After weeks of hostility and rejection from Mia, hearing she still trusted me meant everything. Jade suddenly remembered an urgent work commitment and left the nurse's office without saying goodbye. Mia looked hurt. The drive home was quiet with just Mia and me. Halfway there, she said, "I'm sorry about what I said at dinner and how I've been acting." I was shaken. I thanked her and apologized for what I'd said about her mom. We talked, and she admitted she missed her mom but knew Jade didn't understand her diabetes care, and it scared her sometimes. "Mom tries," she said, "but she doesn't know what to do when something goes wrong. Her boyfriend gets annoyed when we have to plan around my blood sugar checks." That afternoon, Mia and I resumed our routine, checking her blood sugar, adjusting her insulin, and planning a meal. She didn't resist. Instead, she asked why we used specific ratios and how foods affected her levels. I explained everything and treated her like the young adult she is. Ryan came home early and watched us before joining. He apologized for not recognizing how much I did for his daughter. He admitted he'd avoided conflict and let Jade manipulate the situation because it was easier. For the first time, we were on the same page. Then his phone alerted him to a new email. He looked upset as he read it. "It's from Jade's lawyer," he said. "She's requesting a formal custody review. She's claiming the move has been detrimental to Mia's well-being and questioning the relationship dynamics in our household." I was shocked. After everything, the care I've provided, today's school incident, and Mia's trust, Jade is going to court to separate us. The email set a mediation meeting next week with a court-appointed mediator. Ryan called his lawyer, who advised us to document everything related to Mia's care, appointments, daily management, and communication with Jade. I've started keeping detailed records of Mia's care, and Ryan has requested her medical records to show my involvement over the years. Mia doesn't know about the custody review yet. I worry how she'll react. She's finally opening up again, and this could set her back. For those wondering about my job, I spoke to my supervisor and adjusted my schedule so I can attend the mediation. My hospital has been supportive since several colleagues have been through similar situations. I never imagined being a nurse would prepare me for custody battles or that loving someone's child could be this complicated. I'll update again after the mediation. Now for the final update. Final update on the stepmom custody situation. Can't believe it's all over after 3 weeks. First off, thanks to everyone who's followed this saga and offered advice. You internet strangers kept me sane. It's been 3 weeks since Jade's lawyer announced the custody review, right after Mia and I reconnected. These past weeks have been tense. I've been documenting everything related to Mia's care: insulin adjustments, blood sugar logs, appointment notes, texts with Jade. Ryan's been supportive, finally helping instead of staying on the sidelines. The night before our mediation, I was checking Mia's blood sugar when she started crying. She said she'd been difficult because she was afraid of being caught in the middle. "I was afraid if I showed I cared about you too much, Mom would be mad, and if everything fell apart, I'd lose you." I said adult relationships are complicated, but I would always care about her. We spent the evening reviewing her monitoring routine together. Yesterday, we arrived at the mediator's office. Jade was there with a folder of notes. Mia waited in another room while we talked. Jade listed her grievances, how she felt replaced since the move, saying I was trying to steal her daughter, even though she'd only seen Mia once a month before. The mediator, Susan, let her speak for 15 minutes. Then Susan asked about Mia's diabetes care. Jade said she was capable, mentioning an online course and a certificate. "I have a nursing degree and 4 years of experience." Susan revealed she had requested Mia's medical records with Ryan's permission. They showed that in 3 years, Jade attended 2 appointments and I attended 27. Susan also had notes from Mia's endocrinologist on how stable her condition is under my care. Jade said she wanted to be more involved, but her work schedule made it hard. Under pressure, she admitted her boyfriend doesn't like dealing with medical issues, and their lifestyle doesn't work with Mia's needs. Ryan, who'd been quiet, spoke up. He explained how I had changed my nursing shifts for Mia, noticed when her health declined, and handled school communications. He said he'd taken my role for granted. Susan invited Mia to share her feelings. She said she loved her mom, but felt safer and more stable with me and her dad. She knew her diabetes care was better with me and was afraid of change. Jade was silent. Jade started crying. She confessed she'd been jealous of my ability to care for Mia. She admitted making the gold digger comment and apologized. After mediation, the 4 of us agreed on a visitation schedule that fits Jade's availability and keeps her involved. The agreement gives me authority over diabetes decisions when Mia is with me. That evening, Ryan gave me a medical power of attorney document for Mia. He said he trusted my judgment and was grateful for my commitment. Mia saw it, asked what it meant, and hugged me. The situation isn't perfect. Jade's parents still comment on me at gatherings. Mia still tests boundaries. Jade sometimes cancels visits. But my role in this family is finally recognized. Ryan and I talked about our future. He apologized for not supporting me sooner and admitted he was afraid of conflict. He said seeing me with Mia showed him what a great mother I would be. Final edit before I go to bed. Mia showed me her blood sugar logs for the week, all in range. She even made a spreadsheet to track patterns. These moments make it worthwhile. I never expected this to resolve sustainably, but here we are. Thank you to everyone who advised me to document everything and stand my ground. You were right and probably saved my relationship and Mia's health.